Okay, so we're going over the answers for our warm-ups, and students already started answering questions for me. So let's go ahead and write down what they wrote. For number one of the students said it was 30 and 3. Hold on, let me unfreeze this. 30 and 3. And then, hey guys, I'll try not to say your names, but you guys said to distribute, right? So it'd be 3x minus 3 equals, what's 17 times 3? And then what's 17 times negative 6? And so you might want to use your calculators for that. Very good. 50. So it'd be 51x minus, and what's 17 times 6? I'm sorry? 102? Okay. So 102x. Now you want to get the x's together, right? So if you have a 51x minus 102x, that would be a 51x. Negative. Okay. So I'm purposely not calling you guys' names, but you know whose turn it is. So what do you guys think you would do next? You have a 3x minus 3 on this side equals negative 51x. Oh. Okay, so what's the next step, though? You want to get the x's together, right? So how do you do it? Add on both sides. Yeah. Perfect. That's exactly what you want to do, yeah. So let's add a 51x to both sides. And that gets the x's together, right? So you have the x's together on one side, and you would have 54x minus 3. See, what you want to do next is since you have the x's on one side, you want to get the constant terms on the other side. So 54x equals 3. Divide both sides by 54. Whoops, there we go. And then you have your answer. X equals 3 over 54. You could reduce that because 3 does go into both. 3 goes into 3 one times. 3 goes into 54. Let's see, how many times would that be? Is that 18 times? Yeah. Okay. Question number 3 goes to this row right here. I'm not calling your names because it's being recorded, so just, you know. Can you guys, the question originally was, is the table exponential growth, decay, or neither? You're going to get a question like this on the quiz today. What's happening with the x's first? Is it increasing, decreasing, or being multiplied, or neither?
Increasing.
Increasing by how many?
5.
Good. So you've caught the pattern. It's increasing by 5 each time. Remember, for it to be an exponential growth or an exponential decay, it has to either be adding or subtracting on the x side. So it's adding, so it could be one of those still. What's happening to the y side, though, each time? Is it adding, subtracting, or multiplying, or neither?
Neither.
Actually, something is happening here. If you go from 2 to 8, you multiply by what number?
4.
Right, so you multiply by 4, and if you go from 8 to 32, you also multiply by 4. So if the x side is adding and the y side is multiplying, it's exponential. So is it exponential growth or decay? Yeah, it's growth because it's increasing, right? If it were being divided by a number on this side, it would be decay. Okay, so look at this one here. What's happening on the x side? Let's go to oh, sorry, didn't mean to call names. Let's go to this side right here. What's happening on the x side here?
Oh man, I wish I could be here. Oh man.
Anyone in this row know what's happening from 3 to 5, 5 to 7, 7 to 9? It's not being multiplied on this side. Remember, the x side has to either be added or subtracted each time. Okay, see it? No? Do you see it? So if to go from 3 to 5, And from 5 to 7, one way you can figure it out is subtract. You can say, well, what's 9 take away 7? It's 2. What's 7 take away 5? It's 2. What's 3 take away 5 take away 3? It's 2. So if that's going backwards, you're subtracting. Going forward, you would add. So each time it's being added by 2. That still doesn't tell you what's being done. But remember, in order for it to be exponential, you have to be adding or subtracting on the x side. Now we got to figure out the y side.
How do you go by 2 if 5 plus 2 equals 8? On the side.
It's okay. So on this side here, what's happening? Is it being added, subtracted, multiplied, divided, or neither? Good. And what's the numbers that being multiplied by? Can anyone find it? If you go from 2 to 12, how many did you go up? What number did you multiply it by? In this case, it's 6. I'm actually dividing as I go down by 6 each time. So if you're dividing by 6, is that exponential growth or decay? Right, that would be exponential decay. Remember, if you're not multiplying or dividing on the y, it's neither. That's a possible answer. It could not be a growth or it could not be a decay. It could just be neither. So just watch it. And this last question I threw in there, this is something we didn't get to cover in our questions, but it is something that we were supposed to cover. We just ran out of time. So I put it in the warm-up. And I don't expect you guys to be experts on it yet, but I do want you guys to be exposed to it. And it's really not that hard once I show you how to do it real quick. So the total amount is the y, right? Like always. The initial amount is the p. And what this is this is the actual formula that bankers use to determine interest. If you want to pay interest on a car or a house, or you want to collect interest, even better, this is the formula that's used, okay? So this is why it's so wise to invest money, because it grows exponentially. It grows at such a quick rate, and it's why it's foolish to have a lot of credit card debt, okay? So the initial deposit is how much in this? How much did we initially pay? 2,000, right? So instead of a P, you'd put 2,000. 1 plus, by the way, that 1 plus should look familiar because it's just a growth function. What's the rate in all this? Can anyone detect the rate? So the 2,000 deposit, that is 5% annual interest. 5% would be the rate is 0.05. And the rate is over the amount of times. If it's compounded quarterly, each quarter, that means there's 4. It's compounded 4 times a year. So the number of times it's taken out, the interest is compounded. You put wherever there's an in. And it was for 1 year, so I'm just going to put t being 1. T equals 1 is the same thing as 1, so we don't have to even write it. Okay, now we just solve it. 0.5 divided by 4 is what? Let me get the calculator. $1.25. Do parentheses first. Do the powers. Does anyone have a scientific calculator? They can do that. What's 2.25 to the 4th power? And once you do that, all you have to do is multiply it, and you have your answer. I see we're running out of time, so.